And we are live! Hello, Nige.
Hello, Gareth.
Hey, it's week 25. We got some news, haven't we?
Yes, we do. We have a little bit of news for you.
It's ironic because Keith's not here, and there's quite a large bit of news on this week.
Yeah, he could have geeked out over this.
Oh yeah, proper gaming spooge. Right, so let's have a look at what news we got. The first one is layoffs at Rare. Then we got Philfish. Then we got Pewdiepie, DirectX12 and Xbox One. The Steamboy, which sounds quite interesting, and then the layoffs and bits at Gametrailers, which is quite sad. So let's start off with Rare. So, okay, right. So, for those who don't know, Rare is a games company that's been around since the mid '80s. They've made quite a few really kind of top-notch games until they were bought out by Microsoft, and then they kind of went completely downhill. And what has happened is they're having a huge amount of layoffs and stuff. And given the fact they have the layoffs and stuff, Phil Harrison, formerly of Sony, the guy I believe pretty cocked up the PS3 launch, and I think is probably cocking up the Xbox One launch, is saying that they still have complete confidence in Rare as a developer. This is the kind of thing that you hear from politicians when they're about to be fired or shut down or kicked out or arrested.
And the same actually happens in football, where you get the dreaded vote of confidence shortly before you get fired.
Oh, that's very topical, Nigel.
Yes, it's exactly the same.
I wonder who that's a reference to. It's not the England manager by any chance, is it?
Who knows?
It's annoying because Rare, some of the Rare games that I played, I really enjoyed. It's like Battletoads. Did you ever play Battletoads?
No, actually, no.
Oh no! All right, Donkey Kong Country. You must have played Donkey Kong Country.
No.
GoldenEye.
You're talking about Nintendo games, and
yeah.
No.
No GoldenEye. You never played GoldenEye.
Oh, I've seen it.
You've seen it?
It was on the 64, wasn't it?
Yes.
It
was on the N64. But you've never played.
Not played it. I've seen it.
Nigel, I'm so disappointed.
I'm not of that generation of having a console.
Okay. I think this is. I think Rare may be coming to an end, which is not a good thing. They've kind of been forced to do like shit games. I think actually any of the first-party developers for Microsoft have kind of been funneled down into, we are doing this, and you do not have any creative control, and you will just make this. Kind of mentality. I can't remember the company that was supposed to be doing their own IP and then got Gears of War. But I don't think this is good. I think in a couple of months' time we're going to hear bye bye Rare. It was nice knowing you.
Well, they do say that Rare is working on a couple of things at the moment, which they'll announce at the right time. So they might, they might be doing games still. Might not completely fold. Seems to coincide with the fact that they've started selling the Xbox One without Kinect.
Yeah, I think they're probably trying to balance out the cash and bits for stuff. Okay, so my money is saying that Rare is going to disappear in the next couple of months, maybe 6 months, and then that's it. They're gone. It was nice knowing you. Donkey Kong Country was fantastic. Nintendo should have never sold you. GoldenEye was the best first-person shooter on a console at the time when the N64 came out. But
so
hey, you hear these things. Okay.
Yeah, it's a shame. But hey, there we go. You there?
Okay, alright, let's move on to Phil Fish. Do you know Phil Fish?
He made a game called Fez.
Oh, good. Yeah, if you ever watched, there's a documentary called Indie Movie The Game.
Okay.
Phil Fish is on that, and they follow him around, and he is a bit of He's a bit of a funny fucker, especially when you compare him to the guys who did Super Meat Boy. He's spouted off on Twitter a couple of times. He's famous for an argument with a guy called Marcus Beer from Gametrailers, who was at Gametrailers at the time. But he's been spouting off about Let's Players on YouTube and how he considers Let's Players pretty much the same as piracy for movies. So if you bought a movie, from his opinion, that doing a Let's Play is the same as buying a movie and then just streaming it on YouTube and letting people watch it. Even though I'm completely, it's not the same thing, because a game is all about experience. Yeah, it's about pressing the buttons in the right order and having that kind of, you press it, you get feedback saying you've done well, and then you carry on. It's not the same as watching it. So what is your feeling, being the person who's doing the Let's Plays out of us at the moment?
Yeah, you can't really compare. It's not apples for apples. So with a movie, you will sit down, turn it on, let it play until the end, and you turn it off again. With a game, you turn it on, you're actively involved in it, and if you're recording yourself doing that, you're actively involved in playing your stuff. So you're basically you're doing your commentary over what you think, and you're giving it your opinions. It's not apples for apples, because you're adding an extra layer in, aren't you? You've got the gameplay that's going on behind it, but it wouldn't be playing unless you were doing it and taking it that direction.
Yeah, I can understand with games like super heavy story driven, like The Last of Us.
Yeah.
But I knew that there were Let's Plays of The Last of Us when I was playing it, and I just avoided watching them. Which is, people watch them because they want to watch them whether you like it or not. And
yeah. But a lot of people like to watch a game being played just to sort of get an idea of what the game's like before they go out and buy it. And
if you get stuck too.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got stuck on a few games. I watched Let's Players play it, found the bit where I got stuck on them, got past it. So yeah, it's handy as a guide. It's not piracy, I don't think. I really don't think it's piracy. I think he needs them to shut up. The guy made one game. He got into a fight over Twitter with someone, and then he's gone, right, that's it, I'm never making a game again, like a sport bloody child. Even from his perspective.
Deleted his Twitter account.
Even though if you made a game, he'd make millions. So I don't get that. That's just dumb. If I had the talent to make the game like he did, I would fucking make the game. I don't get it. I would hire someone to help me, by all means, to make my life easier. But I would just shut the fuck up and be a recluse. I'd pay someone to go and do it. I know he's had arguments with other developers and stuff, so he may suffer some kind of Asperger's or something, and we may be taking a piss out of him for some kind of genuine kind of personality disorder, which is quite, maybe it's borderline severe, because you have to watch the movie game, you'll understand if you watch that, because you'll see him in that.
Yeah, well, yeah, he just seems to be very strong in his views, and he won't waver from it no matter what people say. So sometimes there's just no argument with anyone.
Okay, right. So on to our next story, which is PewDiePie showing off how much he earns. I don't think he's showing off how much he earns, but he revealed to, I can't remember what it was now, the news story in the news article we were looking at before we came on. He revealed that he makes about $4 million a year just from doing Let's Plays, and I think
he said pure profit, mate. Pure
profit. But it doesn't cost that much to Let's Play. He buys the PC and all the bits that go with it, and
but you'll have tax and bits, wouldn't you?
And he lives in the UK, so he'll get he'd be hitting that 50% rate of tax bracket. So fucking hell, it must be like 6. It must be like 6 million.
Yeah, it's more than it's 4 million pure profit, he said. So taking into account, the very small outlay of, he probably gets games for free anyway now, but very small outlay of keeping his computer completely up to date with the best of the best, because he can afford it, and then all the tax that he's got to pay, and then rent and all that bollocks that he's got to pay for. You know, 4 million profit.
Yeah, I don't think we're ready to expose how much money we make on YouTube at the moment, because, dude, everyone will be terrified of the profits that we make from our videos and bits.
It's shameful.
It's mind blowing. It's absolutely staggering how much we could make. All I can tell you, Nige, is that's going to be the best dinner you eat all year.
Yeah, if it was a fucking penny sweet.
Anyway, it's getting back to PewDiePie. A lot of people hate on PewDiePie. I don't hate on him. I just don't watch him because I don't like it. It's not my thing. I can understand those who watch it and do enjoy it, because you know those people you get enjoyment out of that. By all means, get your enjoyment out of that. It's not my thing. What I don't like is the fact that every time I search for anything, he always seems to be at the top of the bloody search engine. Which is the bit that really gets me. It's like, I don't. Yeah.
That's why he's getting so many hits, because you search for anything on YouTube and he's at the top.
Yeah. It is. It's fun, but hey, if he's successful, let him fucking enjoy it. You don't know how long it's going to last. You know, make the most of it.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Ride that train.
Ride the gravy train and drink as much gravy as you can, as long as it's not man gravy.
Say what you like about him, he's doing alright out of this. He's doing it well.
I like it because you define that formula's alright. I think it's fucking exceptional. But hey, we can be jealous. We can be jealous. I'll admit to being jealous.
Yes.
Right, okay, so... Okay, we'll move on to our next story, which is Mr. Spencer's views on DirectX12 for the Xbox One. I'll let you read this one off, because I think I stole your Phil Fish story.
Nah, alright, yeah. So DirectX12, apparently according to Mr. Spencer, he says that DirectX12 will not be a massive change for the Xbox One. All it will do will help developers on Xbox One. It's not going to be a massive change, but will unlock more capability for devs. So where everyone was talking about the Xbox One having more unlocked power to be used and hopefully get up to 1080p, it doesn't sound like it's going to happen like that. It'll just make it easier to be used and easier to be programmed.
That for devs, that's a very important bloody thing, because no one's been ages pissing around with code just to get the fucking thing ticking over the basic areas. It's very it's odd, because everyone was kind of going on about this is going to give them a boost, etc., etc. The Kinect's gone, DirectX12's coming, this will give it a boost. Got to get up to 1080p, and the long and short of it, it's not going to make that difference. And I can understand why he came out and was quite honest with everyone. But at the end of the day, as long as your graphics aren't lower than 720, yeah, it's okay. 720p 30 frames a second is the bottom for this generation. I know if you talk to Keith, he wants 1080p on everything. It doesn't. If you played The Last of Us is 720p on the PS3, and because of the way the game is, you don't care that it's in 720p on a PS3. And when it comes out on the remastered version on the 4, and it has that 1080p thing, I don't think there's going to be a blistering difference to it, because it is.
No.
The game's good.
As long as the frame rate is high enough, so it doesn't jerk about a bit.
Oh god, no chugging. That's why the 30 frames a second to stop any chugging. In an ideal world, it's 60 frames a second, 1080p, bosh, you're away, everything's happy.
But yeah, if you can't get that and you need to drop one of the two, just drop it down to 720 and keep the frame rate high, just so it plays smoother.
Well, to cheer up the Xbox One owners, when the PS2 was dominating, it was the weakest console in that group. It was to have the least amount of power in that group, and so like gangbusters. So not having that huge levels of power is not important. It's all about the games, better experience.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you just need to look at what Nintendo did. They brought out Mario Kart 8 suddenly. look what's happened. Loads and loads and loads of Wii U's being sold suddenly because there's a good game for it. Bring out good games for the Xbox One, people will buy more Xbox Ones, you'll have more people to play with, and so on and so on.
Yeah, it's Halo is going to give it a massive boost. When the Halo
5.
whatever it is. No, I'm talking about the one that's coming out,
stuff.
the remastered one. That's going to get a boost. It's not going to be a massive boost. When 5 comes out, it's going to give it a huge boost. But saying that, outside that, it's kind of struggling, and they need to invest and get some decent games, because that was the problem. If they started off and they focused on TV and TV programs, and it's a games console. The trick is in the name, games console, and they just kind of forgot that. And I think that catch up is going to take them a couple of years, just because of developments and putting things in place to get everything up and running and going. But hey.
Well, what we do know is next year is going to be a good year for games.
Oh, dude, next year's going to be fucking fantastic for games. The irony is that I can see a good chunk of the games that we saw at E3 getting pushed back to 2016 when it comes to 2015, and it'd be because there's too much competition about. They don't want to hit the competition. They want to get maximise the market at the time. They want to hit those those troughs, and then they'll hold on to it. And the annoying thing is they won't hold on to it and release it during the summer, because the only other games that sell in the summer are Grand Theft Autos. So
yeah.
Okay, ready. So let's move on to our next story.
Okay.
Which is the Steamboy.
Yeah, Steamboy. I think this is actually announced at E3. It's a handheld device with a screen on it. It's like a Vita, really. But it will allow you to sort of play all the games that you've pretty much got on your Steam account at the moment.
It's going to be weird, because it's going to need like a Windows platform, isn't it?
Well,
they're all like DirectX built games.
Well, if you think about it, you've got the Steam OS coming out, and I think they're trying to get the games that they've currently got on their Steam platform to run on the Steam OS, I would assume. So if they run the Steamboy on the Steam OS, and then it will all work together, I guess. I don't know. But the specs on it are okay. It's a quad core CPU with 4 GB of RAM, but it's only got a 32 GB built-in memory card. So, and it's got a 5-inch 16:9 touchscreen screen. So, yeah, the 32 GB isn't going to be really very much if you consider how much space games take nowadays.
Yeah, it's I got a PS Vita, and I'll be honest with you, I don't play hugely graphically powered games on it. I play the games that would be like the games that you get on the phones, but without all the fucking microtransactions. So I'm not too sure. The Steamboy thing isn't being made by Valve, is it?
Let me see. I read somewhere that it's not being made by Valve. Yeah, it's unaffiliated by Valve. It's an independent group. So I don't really know how that's worked. Maybe they're doing it under license. A bit like how they're doing the Steam machines, making those under license with permission from Valve. Maybe it'd be the same.
Would you buy one?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't get one. I wouldn't get one because I've got my computer which I can play games on. If I want to play a game that I've got on Steam, I'll just load up my computer and play it on there and get the full experience rather than half an experience on a handheld. That's just my opinion. There might be people out there who would want to play a Steam game on their handheld. It looks to be they're going with the haptic controller type. There might be people out there who want to do that, but I don't.
It's one of these things that I don't. I've got a Vita, and the streaming function for the PS4 is lovely. I don't know if I get. It'd have to be fucking something ridiculously special. It would really have to be something ridiculously special. No, I don't think I'd get one unless it was something special, because I reckon the thing will come out to be $400 or £400, sorry, and it's not going to be fantastic. So, what's the matter with you?
Who knows? It'll probably be out in 2015 anyway.
Okay, all right. Anything else you want to add on that one?
Nah.
Okay, all right. Okay, moving on to the next story, which is the layoffs and transfer bits for Gametrailers. Gametrailers is one of my favourite sites to go to for video game news, previews, reviews, etc. I went there a lot, so I still go there a lot. I like watching their kind of shows and stuff, but I have to admit, since like the end of last year, since like December last year, it has kind of dropped off. But it's probably because a parent company has been trying to sell them off. But what's happened is E3's come up, and they've told that they've been bought by Defy Media finally, and then they've had to lay off a good chunk of staff and that. So it's not good, because all the kind of shows and stuff I like watching, especially when it comes to the weekends like now, I can't really watch, and it's quite sad because I've been watching them since for almost the beginning. I think I watched the Resident Evil 5 trailer. I might have even shown you the Resident Evil 5 trailer from Gametrailers when it first came out. But it's quite sad. They've got all these people there. There's a guy called Ben Moore who's on there, who's big into his MOBAs and stuff like that. And he was kind enough to follow us on Twitter, so he gets a little shout out there for that.
And a big thumbs up.
A big thumbs up.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah, good luck. I hope he comes. I hope I get to see him on another game site somewhere, because these people are good. And there's another one called Rob Slasher who's quite funny. Rob, it's not Huber now. I can't remember. And a guy called Ryan Stevens, who towards the end looked like he was just running everything. So it's really sad. It feels like the end of an era. But these things happen. It's like having your favourite TV show cancelled. It feels like they said everything's going to be back. And hopefully it will be back, and it will be better, and maybe some of these people will then come back at a later date when everything picks up, but it sucks.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Anywho,
sad story.
It is sad. I'm going to move on to it next and start crying like a big girl. Flowers. Right, so Keith's not here, so doing the shameless plugs can be a little difficult. Nige, do you think you can manage a shameless plug before we go?
Possibly.
Alright, okay. So, I will do Twitter and you will do the podcast. You ready?
I have no idea where the
Just
where are you, Keith?
pick up the podcast. That's all you have to do. Ready? Here you go.
Okay.
Ready? Follow us on Twitter!
And check out our podcast!
That's pretty fucking good, actually, considering all the last ones like... Yeah, we've got a Facebook page.
I don't know what came over me.
Oh, that's quite good. That's good. Anyway, this has been Gaming Face Punches roundup for week 25. I've been Gareth.
And I've been Nigel.
And we're going to say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, follow us on Twitter!
I don't have a Twitter account.
What do you mean you've got a Twitter account?
I don't have one.
Get a fucking Twitter account!
Why?
Because then you can follow us, and then you know what will happen? The moment you follow us, I'll tell you what will happen. We'll follow you back.
Oh, okay.